everyone, it's Evelyn. I have two reads for you today. The first one is a Divine Masculine read. The second one is a Twin Flame read. I'm going to get right to it. Let me show you the pictures first before I forget to do that. This is the Divine Masculine read, the main SIRIAN Starseed deck read. I just want to clear that up a little bit. Okay. And then here's the full read for that one. And then for today, or for the read in front of you rather, this is the main read from the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And the full read here that's in front of you now. Okay. So I meant to post this last night, but I was up, my mother's on hospice, so I was up visiting her with my sister for a bit yesterday. So I didn't have time to post it last night. So the Divine Masculine read I did was from late on the 7th, and the Twin Flame read I did yesterday. So I'm going to start with the Divine Masculine read. That was cut and dealt at 6:37 to 37 to 38, which is the King and Queen of Cups, and the 6 is the Lovers, so that was a very profound energy. And it was done for yesterday, as well as the one done yesterday was done for yesterday as well, but the timelines don't really matter because it's whenever you come to the video. So at 6:46 is the Lovers and the 6 of Cups. And then the GE of Flames came up, which is energy of the flames, but also the drama, the energies of the flames and the drama. And then AIMS also came up, AMES, which is to love. It means the monkey also came up. The monkey and the fodder, the fruit that falls from the tree, came up yesterday or the day before. And the fodder that is for the animals. The hook and bait and burden, the boss, master, and tutors all came up under AIMS. And I finished clarifying this read at 6:59 for the Divine Masculine. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out your way, guys. Okay, so I finished clarifying the Divine Masculine read at 6:59, which is the 6 of the Lovers and the 5 of Swords. The major arcana in this read were Luna, which is the moon, solar deity, which is the sun, so the sun and the moon were in the main part of the read, and then before the read, guidance, which is like the Hierophant, and after the read, ascension, which is the world, abundance, which is the Empress, and Starseed, which is the Fool. We had 1 sword, 2 cups, 4 wands, and 2 pentacles. The court cards here were Knight of Cups and King of Pentacles. Before the read was the King of Swords, and after the read, the Queen of Wands came up. We had double sixes, were double ones and double sixes most significant here. Double ones is the 11 of Justice, 66 is the Queen of Pentacles, and then 1010 also came up, that very high vibration, to keep it up there. The code line was all about intuition and creativity, and the code line number was 6101, so 6101, if that means anything to anyone, but also reduces to 17 and then 8 as well. And 17 is the star, 8 is the strength card. The other numbers that came up here were 1242, which is 12 and 42, the Hangman and the 2 of Cups. We also had 14 of the Temperance card, 46 is the 6 of Cups, 16 of the Tower, and 610, which is a reflection of that, with source energy backing up the 61, which is the Risk card, that liar, cheater, thief card. We had 12 of the Hangman, 24 of the Queen of Wands, 45 of the 5 of Cups, 56 the 2 of Swords, 67 is the Knight of Pentacles, and then 810, which is 0 behind 81, which for me, 81 is the end of karma around the world. In the Divine Triangle, the numerology book, 81 is the end of the karmic cycle. So, in other words, at age 81, you can just then decide whether you want to come or go, and do you want to stay in the life that you were in, or do you want to change your life? So that's the kind of idea that came up in that book. So being around intuition and creativity, the code line here, the bridge, MTV was coming up here, but not necessarily about music TV, because there were other things that came up here. But to bridge the MTV, if 16, which can also represent the tower, Ace, the Knight of Cups, which is about being love, so intuition, and Christ eativity. So instead of activity or creativity, it was coming up as eativity. So in other words, breaking bread, like with Jesus, breaking bread at the table together, being social and eating together. But also tuitions may be coming up regarding kids' college tuitions. But again, remember my breakdown of intuition is all about being in connection with the two towers. The T and the T of intuition is the twins, and the I and the U between, right? You and me in between the two T's in connection. And then the creativity is coming up as Christ eativity, and IVI is co-creation. And then TY is thank you, having gratitude after you eat, right? To bless your food with light. So surround your food in light with the golden white light, and then have gratitude as well. So then the bridge of M was expanding here. So Spirit was bringing in Mary, Michael, Metatron, and Melchizedek, and music, TV, right? TV is telepathic vision, but also TV. And then also MTV is an Arab or Lebanese news station. Is it Lebanon? Yeah, Lebanon. So what came up when I first looked up MTV regarding that Lebanon news station was the Egyptian president Sisi on 12/7/2020 about him going to France after the caricatures depicting the Prophet Muhammad, there was that upset about that, were considered blasphemous by the Muslims, and France human rights concerns about Egypt. From 13 to 17, France was the main weapons supplier to Egypt. Another header that came up was CCTV miniseries 2021, which is coming up, the Empress Elizabeth of Austria, being modern, honest, and authentic, right? Those tag words. Another header was Sisi says Egypt won't stand idly by in the face of any direct threat to Egypt and Libya, their security, to protect Libyan sovereignty. So then we go back to the code line, the bridge, and MTV, the Lebanese MTV, is after Murr, which is the CEO. So it's so funny, M-U-R-R, but Murr, so Murr from Jesus came up as well. But also bridging Murr TV from Lebanon, which also means saying I possess MTV because Murr owns that station. C, 6, and 10 are the Knight of Cups, good at emotions, so in their intuition, in connection with twin towers, you and I, and the not only creativity here, but CR was separated from eativity, so it was really emphasizing eating with others, but bringing up the 10 million in India that eat and co-create and say thank you, and give credit every time they eat. They create and give thanks. So that was coming up. Owner Mur TV, cats meow, dogs grumble came up here, as well as the C as in your eyes, the C as in the ocean and emotions, the C as in the letter C of the Christ consciousness, the unity consciousness, and the C as in the SI, which is the yes of the lovers, being strong, lasting, tenacious, persistent, all one suit, a royal flush. The after-death test of the heart and emotions, the Knight of Cups, so intuition. In that connection with the two T's, the twins, the twin towers of you and I, in connection. To pray and give credit, like in India, the 10 million that eat, co-create, and give thanks each time they eat, and give credit. Tuition, that connection with the twins and you and I, and in eativity. So whenever you're eating, being an activity, but also being creative in eating at the same time. the I am presence of the television. And then I was getting TV 6, like the stuttering coming up, toggling up to create. If lovers persistent, the Knight of Cups sow in their intuition and creativity. The IMTV Sissy or CC 1010, so that radio station came up 1010. And then SAE 1010, which came up as a China steel supplier. And remember that iron plus carbon is what becomes steel. I think I'm quoting that correctly. But also SAE to me is serious adverse event because I worked in research at Penn, at University Penn Hospital. So SAE 1010 is coming up as a serious adverse event. 1010 is a major turn for the better. So the data table for steel grades came up. Carbon steel, again, came up here for SAE 1010, but also on that list came up SAE 1144, which happens to be my soul number, my life lesson number, because I'm 3811 of 448. So that was significant as well, because 1144, whenever it comes up, obviously that's significant to me. But they're also power numbers. 11 is that visionary power number, which is why you always see the 1111, and the 44 is the power number of having complete control over your life, right? Coming back to center every day, being very present in the moment. That's what that means regarding control, not to control others or to control yourself to be like everyone wants you to be. It's just about controlling your ego to allow your love light to shine. 1144 coming up there. And 44 is also a number for, what's his name? Oh, I'm blanking out on his name. He's in my numerology book, not Pythagoras. The psychic. Anyway, I can't think of his name right now, but his destiny number was 44. But it really is the number of social workers and those who, really face the difficult issues but stay present and in a high vibration despite those energies. So we started this Divine Masculine read at the Six of Swords upright. In a peaceful place, after walking away, the King of Swords reversed, breaking patterns post-war. And that can be an internal war, the war with the virus, any kind of war you're dealing with. Breaking patterns post-war without any guidance, because we were kind of turned off a little bit after we had that major boost in December. So post-war, breaking patterns without guidance, being pleased with self-satisfaction, the King of Wands, injured and left behind, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, falling prey to the devil or Capricorn temptation. At 825 is the Strength card and the Knight of Wands, unable to get something new off the ground, in need of help and temptation waving, or child or intern needs help again. The Queen of Swords speaks about falling into death, an end, the dark night of the soul, the dark night, which is the Divine Masculine, the transition portal, the threshold of home and union. The King of Swords reversed under the radar, defenseless to the energies and attacks of feeling ganged up upon. The King of Swords reversed is not leading with good news and not fending off others, not standing up using their defense training. 10 channels not on, 5 by 5 thrown from the horse, or lost the golf ball in the weeds, and there's no snow to ski. All upside down, Achilles heel, right foot, and snake skin and lizard skin, human skin, no one thing can protect you now. Tracking leaves in and stations, and I'm getting the ions in stations here, stat, right, which is stat in medical lingo, is now, and then connection. Tracking leaves in and stations, or stat connections, finding peace without excuse. Post-war fall, cut and run, or cut down by the Knight of Swords reversed and the Queen of Swords upright on top of it all. Swords energy all around the Fool, calling on face, falling from grace and falling on face, or from grace and lacking faith here. Outreach or out on a limb, thrown from the Trojan horse, just as the Queen of Swords said they would. Cliff diving, bungee jumping, skydiving, ski jumping, dragging loyal friend along, just trying to feel alive again. PTSD and looting post-war. So again, that's coming up as the feeling behind people feeling deadened for so long, numbed, just doing random, reckless acts to feel alive again, like someone would, like I did myself jumping out of a plane many years ago. You just want to feel again. PTSD and looting post-war, and again, any kind of riot or ascending against another in a violent way coming up here. This is regarding that. So 839 is strength, and the 39 of the Knight of Cups. New love comes up, and beneath that, reconciliation for the Divine Masculine here. And again, if this is a general reading for the masculine, it can reflect the masculine within the feminine as well, especially if you're a feminine with a lot of masculine in your chart. But it is a general read, so don't force everything to fit if it doesn't resonate with you. This may only resonate with a few or many, or one message can resonate with everyone, and then another message can resonate with only one, so don't force it to fit. The Knight of Wands upright rescue here, with the Magician insecure without the tools, the avoid dance in falling for the Queen of Wands reverse ploy, with Aries perhaps, she could be Aries there, and the snake at his heels, toying with him, free to step on his heart and hide his dessert, strategically planted. Aries times 3, because we literally, in the underlying energy, the Fool came up 3 times in the underlying energy on the base line. Scorpio upright, Gemini, and Virgo both reversed here. Manifestation is 8, and surrender beneath that is 91, which is the reflection of the sun, 19. Spiritual 5D, divorce, or the world falling apart, or Taurus reversed and Pisces reversed here, and the Queen of Pentacles breaking patterns. The Queen of Cups in slow motion or backpedaling, looking yonder. Maybe she's looking younger as well, that just came up. Patience with fire and ice and deception and starting over in love, dumping out the false light. The hounds of hell come up here. Oh, by the way, the other night when I was meditating, the first thing that came in was a tiger and then a cat, even like a lynx, which actually came up in these readings. And then I was surrounded by like hound dogs in a friendly way. I didn't feel threatened by them. But I knew it was a positive thing because when I was out jogging the other day, not yesterday, but the day before, there's a boy who's often playing out front in his yard with his little dog when I go jogging by and I'm on the other side of the street. So his dog, of course, always starts barking and running into the street. So I didn't see him, so I ran across the street so that the dog would go back onto the sidewalk and not be in the middle of the street. And then he came out and he's the sweetest boy. He's so polite. And he kept apologizing for his little dog, but laughing at the same time. He was so sweet. And then his dog kept like kind of running up to me and barking and then going away back to the boy. And then after a minute, the little doggy was literally running with me when I started jogging again. He was running right alongside me. It was the cutest thing in the world. So anyway, the hounds were surrounding me, and I was definitely getting that message of the hounds of hell, but it wasn't like I felt attacked by the dogs. The dogs are actually resonating with me more, which I really love that energy. But the hounds of hell were coming up here in the mix again, along with the crab pretending they're a lobster or something. If you can imagine a crab trying to pretend that they're a lobster, that they're something different than they are, and it doesn't mean better, but in ego sense, it is better, right? So letting go of those preconceived notions. The lobster claw clasp on legs tightly shut or clamped, or throwing away perfectly good lobster well spent. Man in the Moon goes back to the dunes, but they can never go back there again. So that was coming up as a play on Brenda and Eddie, the king and the queen going back to the green. So the man in the moon goes back to the dunes, but they can never go back there again. Sisters, Queen of Pentacles and Queen of... I wrote Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles, but it wasn't that. Just give me 1 second. I want to see what that was. All right, so yeah, Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Cups. They're both upright here. So sisters, Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Cups, messed up. They could both be Sagittarius upright and Cancer reversed as well, or having Cancer in their chart, all right, because she's Queen of Cups. But those two starting over. And they're both upright and they're both fine, but there's something about them, not with each other, but messed up. Sagittarius upright, Cancer reversed, starting over in love. The wounded warrior hiding behind religion or their mother, and then in energetic exchange. Oh, by the way, with Sagittarius upright and Cancer reversed, I was getting Sag upright as Jupiter, and then Cancer reversed was coming up the man and the moon again. Jupiter and the man and the moon starting over. Looking back at the Queen of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, satisfied man with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, which is that family, that dream family of wealth and abundance. At 901, which is the Hermit and the Magician. In energetic exchange with the High Priestess reversed, secret passion and heartbreak, looking back at the Queen of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, which is that perfect balance of sharing, and satisfied man with the Ten of Pentacles, dream family, business, or community. 902, I just got a little bit sick to my stomach. I think that was a message for you guys. The 902, which is, I just took some vitamins too. It could just be my stomach rumbling a little bit. 9 is the Hermit and 2 is the High Priestess. In the recent past is the Ten of Wands reversed. Dumping a load, a burden, responsibilities, and are confessing, prisoner of awakening or of ego. The Knight of Pentacles offers help to Justice, Libra, or to pay for a divorce. The Knight of Wands without option, running out of options. Scrooge floating their coin, and Sovereign tired of schooling the goose. The Knight of Swords reversed, lashing out clearly, and Capricorn upright, Pisces reversed, and Libra both upright and reversed, and Sagittarius upright all here. The foundation here is the Four of Wands upright, arriving home in peace, without attention, reaping rewards, or working in the yard, stockpiling, starting over and losing battle of a higher love, patience, and angels. Saggy here, which again, Saggy for me can reference creator. The central energy is the Ace of Cups reversed, the star in separation, out of options, surrendering to the Queen of Cups, sunshine, kids, vacation, lovers of a 5D connection, Aquarius, Leo, and Gemini all upright, and the Divine Feminine in the 5D, or Pisces reversed, and World upside down, and Thoth watching out for them. The challenge being here, the Knight of Cups upright, the Six of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles upright, dumping a load, and the Knight of Cups offering love. Leo reversed, or a pet hiding their face, looking back or living in the past, or weak from the past, and the King of Cups and Empress both upright here, keeping little birdie safe and warm. The Knight of Pentacles upright and the Page of Wands reversed, ending the war, coming clean about guilt and shame, and surrendering to the King of Pentacles, which can be an earth sign, but it could also just be someone who's very stable, grounded, and responsible, and well off, because the Pentacles is the end of the Tarot, so it's the one who's integrated all the other signs. So the King of Pentacles is reaping the rewards of presenting the truth or results to end bleeding out, the bliss of the Ten of Cups, emotional fulfillment, and stepping up to the plate to hit it out of the park. Now is Luna, or the moon reversed, coming clean about deception, Cancer moon or rising, announcements, judgment, wake-up call, in the state of emergency, the break down, break up, break in, or break through, and the need of help, and defenseless to the energies, attacks, without excuse, starting over. The clarity with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or legacy, or clearly wealthy here. The Ten of Wands reversed, confessing only after the fact. There's no surprise looking back or going back to the King of Pentacles, withholding from physical reunion. The worst over at home, over it in the downturn, tripping up, dropping the facade, and the King of Swords reversed, settling out, withholding, playing hardball, and walking away. Social distancing and being sent away by the Ten of Cups family, insecure, suffering in silence with secret passion. The truth is out about the worst being over, and the bliss of the Ten of Cups, emotional fulfillment, and spreading the word at 926, which is the Hermit, and the Page of Wands. Soon is the solar deity upright, the full exposure, frustration, and the aftermath at the workplace, or a place of co-creation, in energetic exchange, expression of feelings, overwhelmed, purging, dumped, in the dumps, crying, sweating it out, frustrated and stepping it up, or the Page of Wands reversed and the Page of Swords upright here. The Seven of Cups reversed, dumping emotional attachments, frustrated, out in the cold, pushed to the breaking point. He seeing himself as the King of Pentacles, presenting the truth to the Page of Cups and the Hermit. The Six of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed are in disconnect or at a distance, no longer confused. Why dumping emotional attachments that no longer serve, in a breakdown with third party, and a message of love from Hermit with the light at 9:31, which is the Hermit and the Five of Wands, that expansion, conflict, fighting, but also competing and playing games, the pursuit of happiness, the impossible dream. Of love from Hermit with the light, no longer confused about the warpath of the third party or bad influences or group dumping on the Hermit. 9:33, the Hermit and the Christ vibration, the Seven of Wands, standing up for yourself, taking the high road, right? Or defending your territory, perhaps. Virgo is upright, Cancer reversed here. Keep an open mind, make an effort, and it is safe to love. Now, I want to remind you, too, sometimes when I say a sign reversed, it may be the negative attribute of that sign, or it could be that that person has that sign in their chart. It's just not their sun sign. So when it's reversed, it can often be moon or rising, or just really heavily in their chart. So around the Divine Masculine, or how he is seen here, is the Six of Wands reversed, feeling of failure, defenseless to deception, death, dark night, endings, transition, to sovereign or to being single again, Cancer reversed and Scorpio upright here. The block for the Divine Masculine here is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, refusing to come out and grow, withholding, playing hardball, prepare. Again, all of these things are defense mechanisms, preparing for a new life, spreading the word of what's not working, the Queen of Pentacles holding on and grounded. Intuition and creativity come up here, but even more so, patience. That's the hardest lesson for the human ego to learn. Justice upright and disconnect at a distance. It's so in disconnect or at a distance, because it can play both ends of this here. The disconnection could be a breakup or not seeing eye to eye, not being together anymore, but at a distance could just be they're not seeing face to face because they're at a distance. And the Queen of Wands reversed with the King of Pentacles and the Emperor, or is the face of the King of Pentacles and Emperor truth of bliss of the Ten of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment, and spreading the word, the gospel, word. Defenseless to drama queen, insecure without tools, suffering in silence with the secret out. The world is reversed in the ascension world being slow. Abundance of the Empress falling from grace into bliss with happy family and emotional fulfillment. So this could be people witnessing the divine feminines and not getting it, like thinking, having perhaps an illusory perspective on the divine feminine. Perhaps seeing what the divine feminine went through as an abundance of the Empress and then falling from grace, which, by the way, my mother's on hospice and her middle name is Grace, into bliss, right, of happy family and emotional fulfillment. So not understanding how someone can go from falling on their face and then all of a sudden they're happy with family and emotionally fulfilled. Like, how did that happen, right? Walking away, the King of Swords reverse messed up, dropped the ball, post-war, without guidance. With the Hierophant reversed, which can also be Taurus, religion, establishment, leaving all those behind, divorce and finding peace. Home, the King of Pentacles, under radar, confessing to breakup, overwhelmed, purging, sweating it out. And challenged by the Knight of Cups, offer of love, exposed and withholding, deception. Or from Cancer, moon or rising. And the Queen of Wands reversed, without defense, or their world upside down, with Empress falling and the worst now being over. Finding peace in dumping a load, responsibilities, confessing and starting over. Home dumped or duped perhaps, purging, overwhelmed by deception, challenged by an offer of love, the King of Pentacles fully energized, exposed, hiding, feeling of failure, under the radar, under the table, withholding from the Queen of Wands reversed, without excuse, needing closure to end the cycle with the Empress, abundance, falling on face or from grace, where the worst is now over and the bliss is now in. Taurus reversed, finding peace, purging offer of love and exposure of withholding, time, money, and effort, and deception of the Queen of Wands reversed, defenseless to the upside down world, and the Empress falling, and the worst now being over at 9:52, the Hermit and the Queen of Swords. And that night I watched Pieces of a Woman. So that is a message coming up here as well. You know, all that a woman goes through. And that, the movie was about a woman who has a home delivery and loses her child. So if you're interested in that, you might want to check that out. It's not a real cheery movie. You know, the whole thing is very heartfelt and difficult, but it has a really nice message to it. So, I wanted to give you a website I never would have looked at before, because his website's called Sam the Illusionist, and I don't know what he was doing before, but the last 5 videos were really profound messages. He was channeling all of the main ETs that we communicate with. There was a message from the Arcturians, there's a message from the Pleiadians, there's a message from the Sirians, from the Andromedan High Council, a message from the Galactic Council. So check them all out, because every one of them were completely different messages, but all profoundly aligned with me. So if you want to check them out, it's Sam the Illusionist. Please check out the last 5 or so videos. They were really informational and good, and they were all within the past few weeks about what's coming up in the next 3 months. So really important there. The second read here, let me just make sure there's no other messages here I wanted to give you. Yeah, it was really interesting too. The message from the Arcturian Collective was on, they were saying that within the next 3 weeks, be prepared, and the reason why we are we've been prepared for many years for this moment, because in the next 3 weeks, as we're moving into the 4th density, not dimension, but density, as the Earth is formally going into the 4th density, like confirmed, which is the age of Aquarius energy that's come up as December 21st, but the actual birth is coming up as March 21st, because the spring is when everything truly starts and begins. But there's like that transition period between 1221 and 321, where this 4th density shift is happening. And remember, not yesterday, but the day before, the number 4 was coming up big regarding the year that Jesus was born. And here the 4s were coming up major as well, the 4th density shift, and then they mentioned the 4th vector as well. They were emphasizing the need to fast for 16 hours if possible, which means, you know, a long sleep and then just not eating before you go to sleep, or not eating at first thing in the morning, because they can't work on us when our stomachs are full, which is why the liquid diets are good too, because it, you know, goes through you really easily and doesn't require a lot of energy from your body, because they need to do work on us while we're sleeping. They also said in about 3 weeks, because of the 4th density shift, we're all of a sudden going to be able to see things we weren't able to see before, because the dimension's changing. So we'll be able to see Nibiru, but also they said there's going to be a lot of ships surrounding the Earth, not to make contact with us, obviously, because we're not ready yet. It has nothing to do with them. They're a higher vibration than us, so our vibrations don't help them. We pull them down, so it's not like they want to be in our energy unless we're truly high vibrational. But they're going to be coming in to deflect some of the energies coming in that may be unexpected, so that we won't feel it so traumatically. So we are here to if you do start seeing any ships, to, you know, help others understand that it's nothing to fear, because that's an energy of, you know, pushing us down again into lower vibrations. So to help others keep their energy vibration up, that's your mission here, is to help others stay happy in a high vibration. So they wanted to let us know that we might start seeing things that are going to put people into panic state, and that's where we come in. Okay, so check out those videos. They literally said that their ships will surround and absorb some of the vibrations in the cosmic due to the shift of Gaia. And it has to do with shifting other places in the universe, which is why there may be shifts that come in that are unexpected or that they knew about but couldn't let us know about until the last minute, so we wouldn't be alarmed about it until our vibration was raised enough to understand the process. So yeah, but watch those videos that I told you about from Sam the Illusionist. So the second read here, and we'll start this, it's 35:16. 35 is the Wounded Warrior, 16 is the Tower. Okay, and that could be sudden surrender as well with the Wounded Warrior coming up reversed. So for the Twin Flame read here, I cut the deck, SIRIAN Starseed deck at 9:18, which happens to be my birthday. So I don't know if that's significant or not, maybe. I was told at one time too, I have no idea if this is true, but in the Jewish religion, they use that number 18 and 118 as gifts all the time because it's supposed to be the first day of the world, is what I was told, which is really interesting too, because I have a Jewish background, but I've not been religious. My parents didn't raise us religiously, so I was always free to believe what I wanted to believe. But a Jewish woman had told me at some point in my life that Esther is the direct translation for Evelyn. So literally my parents named me the same name twice, Evelyn Esther, which is very interesting as well. And my grandmother's name was Esther. So after I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck, F flames came up, and it's not about F flames in the F word, but the F of the Phi, the expansion and contraction of the Phi energy, which we're all going through, which is the energy of Aquarius and us expanding outside of ourselves. The flames having to do with the twin flames, but also the drama that's going on around us, right? Expanding and then pulling it back, transmuting with the violet light, turning negative energy to positive. It's the alchemy using the violet flame. And we're also being called on by a lot of the videos I just watched to use the golden light as your prayer energy. So surround everything in the golden white light, your food, your computers when you go online, all of that thing around yourself to protect yourself. And the Merkaba is also very important to use for protection. Just imagine the Merkaba around you, imagine the golden white light, and use the violet flame to transmute the negative to the positive. I finished clarifying this read at 9:40, which is the Hermit, and the 40, 41, and 42 are all coming up here, which is the Page of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Two of Cups, going into the Three of Cups, which is the coming together. The major arcana here were abundance, and this is the read in front of you. Abundance, which is the Empress, the Tower, Justice, Wheel, the Chariot, and Guidance, which is the Hierophant. Before the read transition or the Death card came up, and in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, it's very much the portal, going through a portal. And of course, as soon as I saw the Abundance card come up in the middle of the read, for me, for example, it's reversed. The Abundance reverse, which has to do with the Empress reverse, which has to do with my mother on hospice. So you may be dealing with something similar, or maybe someone, if it's not the Empress who's sick or ill or injured that you're dealing with or taking care of, it may have to do with someone who's very difficult, like a mean person, a boss, a grandmother, aunt, mother, whoever it is in your life, or it can just have to do with your own lack as well, because it's reversed, a lack of abundance, that lack mentality. And that's the energy we're transmuting right now. And remember, transmuting isn't hurting something, it's changing energy from negative to positive. It's like the AC/DC energy, right? Flipping it back and forth. It's like the expanding and contracting that we're practicing every day as a spiritual practice. So we had 1 cup, 1 pentacle, 2 swords, and 1 wand here in this read. The court cards were the Knight of Swords and the Page of Wands. And before the read, we had the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. We had triple sixes in this read, okay? And 6, the basic 6 number is all about love, family, and community, and it's also the lovers. So it's also about, but it's about the practical energy of day-to-day life. You know, it's the 6th house of Virgo, which is my sign. It's about perfecting the little details of everyday life. We also had double 11s, double ones, double 4s, and double 7s, which is the 11 of justice, truth, and balance, the 44 of mastering, grounding, and integrating, which is the 4 of cups, and then the 77 of the sovereignty energy, the 9 of pentacles, right? Being sovereign doesn't mean not in connection. It means being sovereign within your own energy, not judging others, making your own decisions, but not even making decisions, because that's why we don't use judgment at all, because we go by inspiration instead of decisions. when you are inspired to do something, do it. When you're not inspired to do it, be still. Don't judge yourself for being still. That is a false template that we need to be busy every moment of the day. This is why patience is so difficult for humans and our ego, because we've been taught we're not worthy unless we're busy every moment of the day. And the big lesson here for us on our journeys is to be able to be still and do nothing and allow universe to guide us, to be inspired. Just like the perfect example is cleaning the house. There's certain days you just don't want to clean the house and it's not going to happen. And there's going to come a day where you're going to be inspired to clean up. And you wait for that moment. Going with the flow, not resisting. Don't going against the natural flow of the universe. And remember that the natural flow of the universe is like the seasons. It's much slower than what we've been taught to believe, right? We go through manifesting in the spring. Summer's vacation time. We then reap the rewards in the fall and go back to school and all those sorts of things. And the winter is the hibernation, again, the break time to rest and hibernate, to recharge ourselves for the spring again. So remember this, be patient with yourselves, be kind to yourselves. The code line here is all about the environment and the green environment, doing things more organically, going back to nature in all ways. So the messages, a lot of different messages came up here. The name Seth came up, but also boiling, seething, right? That kind of energy here. In the after death, not a faux toy, the pollen producing organ, twin layers came up here around the ovarian follicle, the exoskeleton of the coral polyp, the cloud, the head of the abyss, the tower of truth in the egg, the warrior, the hero, the eye, the soul protection. To see, thad or a tad, a leak or load, the Christ God, cloud. And cloud's coming up here with the abyss, religion. But it's literally saying the cloud being the head of the abyss. The tower, the urgent truth. The I am presence, the God. To sleep, the iris came up, the flower, but also the eye, which is the window to the soul. The warrior of each other, right? Seeing each other. You are each other's protector, right? I am my brother's protector. I am my father's protector, my mother's protector, in each other between the twins. So fodder was coming up again. So not father, but it can be. It's so funny. I actually have a session with Damien Wynn on the 11th. And he says in Irish, because he's Irish, instead of father, he says fodder, which is so funny because pig fodder has been coming up the past couple days. The fruit falling off the tree. So father came up again, but F-O, not F-A, F-O-T-H, which is like fodder. And the foot, anything at the bottom, the base, the grounding, the foot, the track, the prints, that was coming up, as well as to speak. Before speaking, before addressing, again, surround yourself with the gold light. And digging things up. A person employed for boiling food was coming up, the seether or seether. And the word thegan or theka, T-H-E-C-A, which is this, I love the definition of this. T-H-E-C-A is the sheath or the twin layers of cells around the basal lamina of the ovarian follicle. The pollen producing organ usually pairs and forming to pierce, to stab, envelope, or encase, a case. So remember case and sheath because they came up again. And also the cloud is coming up as the word abun, like in abundance. A-B-U-N means cloud. It also means patriarch of the head of the abyss, the Abyssinian church, which is the abyss, the head of the abyss. E-G came up, which is to sleep. It's the egg. It's the I am presence, the God, the oak tree. So oak is being referenced to the I am presence, the Godhead. And SEG also coming up, the man, the warrior, the hero, the fellow, but also the sole or heel of the shoe, that which protects, the metal stud, that which gladdens, The iris species also comes up with this, that it protects, just like your eye. It protects you from remember, your iris lets light in. It monitors how much light you can take in at a time so that you don't get overwhelmed. Oneself, being tough, being hard or chewy or tardy or rubbery, allowing yourself to be late if needed, getting tough skin, being slow-witted perhaps in perception by others. I, thou, he, she, it says. So set adrift, but without the rift, without the sorrow. Hair, remember, hair is a connector. So hair is good, right? It's a connector outside your body. Hair is outside to the waves in Reiki. If you've ever seen a picture of Reiki waves, they're like, very high vibrational sine waves coming out from your third eye. And so your hair is the outer expression of that. They're connections to the outer realms. So to set adrift without the rift or without the sorrow. The hare, the moss, the dog, the mushroom, the arrow, the chip log, the silk, and the white. The fool, track, foundation, human, the load or leak, and the fog, the cloud, the head of the abyss church, the sudden truth, I, egg, God, oak, a warrior of iris, and iris is the protection of the soul, to gladden, being tough, tardy, slow-witted, rubbery, or leathery. The iris means I laugh, I rise, I expose, I spank. I guess that depends on the person there. The iris being the window to the soul, opening and closing. Oneself and each other again come up here in a green environment. The iris again being the filter, which controls the light, the rainbow, the wave. I'm trying to read the word I wrote here. The wave in which you form resonation here. So iris comes up as that, but also separating out the word RIS, which means rice. It also means reef. It means laughing, pleasures, sweetbread, to laugh, to rise. The attic, exposed, the cat, the lynx, a ream, and spanking all come up under RIS. So all of those things. And then finally at 1037, which is a turn for the better with the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, and 37, which is the King of Cups, unconditional love, to see the twin layers, the hare, the mushroom, the dog, the arrow, the silk. And I have to tell you so many things I resonate with this word here. So the things that come up as mushroom and silk and all that is so Seth adrift. So the word adrift regarding those, or actually the rift. So rift was coming up as the hare and the moss and the dog and the mushroom and the silk and the white. And literally, so I eat a lot of mushrooms, and I just was telling you about dogs, and they were all around me. I just got a silk pillowcase because it's supposed to be helpful. Like silk doesn't collect dust mites in the pillow, so I just wanted to try it out. The Divine Human with the leak and the load, and I've been doing a whole lot of loads of laundry because I got some new bedding stuff. So of course, when you're changing beds, it's a lot of laundry. And dealing with the clouds, remember to look up. So when we got that message in December about looking up at the clouds, it's because to notice the changes in the sky, and you're going to start seeing new planets and new ships and all that kind of stuff. So keep looking up. To the abyss, the sudden truth, e.g., the example gratia, for example, or example of grace. So again, Grace is coming up significantly here, and that might just be Spirit coming through regarding, to give my mother props because her middle name is Grace. It's really funny because she's a Jew and her name is Mary Grace, which is very Christian. And it's funny too because Grace was her aunt's name, and she didn't like her aunt at all. I loved Grace. I thought she was great, but my mom had an issue with Grace, and so she didn't like being named Mary Grace. And I never understand Mary too because they always define Mary as bitter. So why would someone with a newborn baby want to name their child Mary bitter? And I get that because of Mother Mary and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I digress. Going back to the read for the twin flames, we start at the Six of Cups upright, which is the children in the garden loving each other, the inner children, the outer children, the fond memories of the past, the soulmates, the loving kids, the twins, the fond memories. After the Page of Pentacles reversed, perhaps something you couldn't get off the ground, or a child or you needing help to co-create in the never-ending story of the Knight of Pentacles, proposing to move, to visit, to end a marriage or end a big party, and the Six of Cups after separation and heartache, suffering and silence, the High Priestess on a quest to the wounded warrior who is guarded. Scorpio reversed and Pisces upright here. The Knight of Swords was hiding behind the Magician reversed. Insecurities and manipulation and lack of tools there. Now out of the gate towards the truth of bliss with the Knight of Pentacles upright offering help. So here we have the Knight of Pentacles and a Page of Pentacles. That can be two children. The Knight's upright, the Page is reversed. The Knight of Pentacles offering help and meeting up. Or High Priestess or secret connection with the Page of Cups. Olive head, olive oil, and whenever olive head comes up, it's not supposed to be derogatory in any way, but it can represent any countries who use a lot of olive oil. It can represent someone who's literally like Popeye in olive oil, but also can represent the Middle Eastern countries here. But not just that, Greece and Italy, anywhere where you use a lot of olive oil here, or just darker skin energy as well. Salt and pepper, apricots and greens came up here. The lotus floral and lead foot, the right lead foot glued to block. Go, 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 speed racer go, no need to look back. Hook in the third eye, in train, in purple. I was just getting the color purple, the movie. The new moon lifts the heaviness to lighten things up for couples, partners, and soulmates. And the Page of Cups, innocence, the message of love. The Knights Templar, which was coming up last night. I was watching the Da Vinci Code. I haven't watched it in a long, long time, so I thought I'd watch it again. I definitely was getting some messages from that. The Page of Cups, innocence, or message of love. The Knights need. Give me just 1 second. Oh, the Knights meet. I was wondering what I was trying to write there. The two knights meet. It's like the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles coming together to end the pain or the bliss, to create the bliss state. As the High Priestess and the Page of Cups also greet. There's a lot of loving childlike energy here with the Six of Cups and the Page of Cups together, which was literally like yesterday I went to visit my mom in hospice. So it was me and my sister together and then my son as well. Or it could be me and my son together with my sister as the Page of Cups. But you could just wanted to give you a parallel to that energy. The Knight of Swords rushes in to see the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community. Due to Gemini reversed being weak, which is my mother, she's Gemini. Gemini reversed weak and secure without the tools to manifest further. The Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, affection, the lovers, coming together regarding Gemini all over this underlying energy right here. So there's a lot of Gemini there. It's not just about my mom, but for you guys as well. It's that Gemini energy reversed, which also can be the twins. And just as a reference there too, my mother and father were both Gemini, and they were 7 years and 7 days apart. So there's definitely a twin reference there. So separation here comes up, and beneath that passion, sudden event, possible jealousy or rage comes up here. But more so, this energy was about the Knight of Cups upright, offering love, and powerless to offering help, something healthy or friendship, but only confessing or coming forward after caught dumping a load, a burden, responsibilities. Or Scorpio Knight of Cups may meet Wonder Woman, or one like him or her, after plastered to the glass ceiling, dropping all responsibilities, no longer obsessing or feeling anxiety. So this is especially for those with anxiety issues, and now offering healthy alternatives to that. At 1101, which is Justice and the Magician. Leadership comes up here, number 81, the end of karma around the world, and beneath that, love, the number 6. The end to an emotional or family cycle, post-war within, the virus and emperor in control now, with the Knight of, or the King of Wands dissatisfied, with the King of Cups reversed, left for dead. Perhaps the King of Cups reversed drinks, was betrayed, or is emotionally unavailable. No barrel of monkeys, perhaps depressed, or spends too much time at the winery or whining at 1105, which is Justice and the Hierophant. Aries upright is here. Painful end, ending pain, betrayal, back pain or treatments. Children visiting, the Six of Cups and the Page of Cups. Lovers, affection, dropping responsibilities. At 1107, which is Justice and the Chariot, dropping all those responsibilities or burdens in order to lead and end karma with love. The Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, released from all their responsibilities, holding back an announcement, an opinion, a wake-up call to those depressed, losing hope, or arrogant, falling on their face or from grace because they are lacking faith in co-creation at 1110, which is Justice and a turn for the better, destiny of the wheel. The Queen of Cups, in a split or divide, a lie, needs the truth and clarity at 1111. The recent past is divine justice and Libra. The Page of Wands inspired, and the Page of Swords in negative self-talk, with the King of Wands, who is that, he's the man of passion upright here, and with a prisoner captured by the Two of Cups connection, dumping a load with the Empress reversed, or dumping burdens and responsibilities on her, or she letting go. The King of Swords reversed coming together. And the King of Swords reversed can just be somebody in negative self-talk. It doesn't have to be an evil, abusive person. It can be, though. King of Swords reversed can be an abusive son of a bee, But he also can be someone who's in negative self-talk or just being silent, right? Not talking at all. It can be someone who's very hurt. And again, so that energy is coming together with the Sovereign reversed, powerless or dependent, or to make a large purchase in the downturn, slow motion, and running out of choices here. Parents and kids dealing with family issues, ill parents, kids moving, schools, and contracts. The foundation is the Seven of Pentacles reversed, implementing a plan, or the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower, opening up, patient, or going out, patient with the Six of Cups, knowing and keeping to themselves, there's so much loving energy here. There's good news and leading the way to help grounding and integrating with the Page of Cups, which can be a child, a loving child, or a message of love. Good news over patient, angel, or over Sag, a higher love, grounding and integrating pure innocent love between the two inner or outer children, and the Page of Cups over knowing and keeping their energy pure. The central energy is the abundance reversed, the ill mother or elder or lack of abundance, or mean, controlling, or fearful woman, or Taurus reversed. Sagittarius upright and Libra upright and reversed here, coming in toward Taurus reversed or the Empress reversed in a split divide, a lie, and needing information or clarity here about the worst being over, but what actually happened. Juggling, performing, dancing, keeping their balls in the air, Hierophant reversed and Chariot reversed, which can be Taurus and Cancer reversed, a break in a marriage, contract, religion, establishment, or norms, and stuck or on the warpath or state of emergency, fight or flight, which is that stress mode we don't want to be in, dealing with car issues, or the Empress reversed needs information about her handlers. Taurus reversed and Cancer reversed, so those could be people taking care of someone or aides. Grieving loss, regret, and the past. Challenged by the Tower, upright, the sudden events, on a quest, a rescue mission, working to align. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, letting go without peace, running out of options, and implementing a plan here. The Queen of Wands is weak or in need of courage or ego death, and the Hermit shedding light on it or taking a pet to the vet. No date or no eating out. The Page of Swords reversed, falling on face or from grace. Um, but I have to say, with the eating out, you could be going out. It's about no options about eating out. So if you go out to eat, it's just, there's limited options as where you can go. So you may not be able to go somewhere new, but you can still go out to eat. So there's no, this could be no coming together or going on a date with your divine masculine or divine feminine. And the Page of Swords reversed falling on their face or from grace, lacking faith in coming together and in heartbreak. The King of Wands is upright along with the Page of Wands, which can be a father and child, imprisoned or with imprisoned one, near death or after death, in energetic exchange, the arrows of love, expressing feelings in uncomfortable energies with Hermit, professional, elder, or Virgo shedding light on the situation at 11:26, which is justice, and 26, which is the Page of Wands. It's very interesting with the uncomfortable feelings yesterday, because my mother's in an Alzheimer's facility, so in order to visit her, of course, you have to have, they're now allowing us to visit. We weren't allowed to visit before, unless it was 15-minute increments. We were allowed to visit outside with like a clear wall in front of us, it was so silly. But when you have masks on, your parent can't even recognize who you are. But in this situation, after being admitted for testing positive with COVID and having lung issues now, of course, we had to go in with 95 masks. We had to put a 95 mask on and the shield, and they gave us, cover-ups for our clothing and gloves. So we had to go in like, a sterilized room at a hospital. And to breathe in that mask, we were there for an hour and a half, and it was so hard to breathe. I don't know how people work in those masks all day long. It was very difficult for me to breathe after an hour and a half. We just had to go because it was so uncomfortable. My sister turned so red. So now here is the present and the wheel reversed, slow motion synchronicities with the Emperor upright in control, the Page of Pentacles student, which also can be an opportunity or invitation, with Aquarius depressed and left for dead, falling or bumping into the King of Swords reversed deception, or with Cancer arrives, or Aries up, the different signs that came up here with the King of Swords deception were Cancer and then Aries both upright and reversed, Cancer reversed, Libra reversed, Aquarius upright and reversed here. All business relationship unstable, moving, ending, sunshine exposing all. So again, you're going to see more and more dark lit up because as we're raising the vibration of light, the dark has to go away, so is therefore exposed. At 12:02, which is the Hangman and the 2 of the High Priestess, looking back, the Page of Pentacles reversed in need of help, holding back their time, money, and effort, with temptation waving the devil, or Capricorn, satisfied with the Queen of Cups exposing all, the kids energized, giving sexual energy up to the sun gods, quote unquote, to the kids, or Capricorn in energetic exchange with sunshine, and the Queen of Cups and ego death, or Leo, out of control, flirting or engaging with casual sex, sharing, settling out, in need to end the cycle of being a victim, defenseless to purging, dumping, dumped, overwhelmed, sweating it out. Leo reversed, Scorpio reversed, and Pisces reversed here, in energetic exchange, but uncomfortable, and the Hermit making it all okay with the light. So soon for the twins is the Four of Swords upright, resting or visiting, one at rest perhaps, but without peace, and the King of Cups upright depressed, awakening or with the idea to offer help to Justice or Libra, or help pay for a divorce with a happy ending, and the Knight of Wands rushing in, or Pisces or Capricorn and Sag rushing in to see Libra or Judge with new passion, new inspiration, grounding and integrating, or just sitting under a tree enjoying grounding, perhaps nature and kids, or meditation with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. While the King of Cups, Aquarius, Capricorn, or Pisces looks on. So they may be watching. At 5:04, which is the Hierophant and the Emperor. The twin flames see themselves as the Chariot reversed, stuck at work perhaps, coming together, or at work without a car, resting, taking a break, meditating, instability, a move, or whether or not to move a patient, new passion and growth out of sudden events, or powering up just to hold back an announcement, to get some work done, or a bad call, or deliberations after the fallout. Love yourself first, reconciliation, new love, and soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate, all came up for the twins. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the guidance card reversed, which is regarding no guidance, right? Doing it on your own. However, there's been a lot of guidance coming in now. I felt like no guidance towards the end of December to beginning of January, but I feel it coming in really strongly again now. Powerless or dependent on the Queen of Swords upright, speaking a message, cleaning up the act, the Knight of Cups offering love to uncomfortable energies between the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Swords, both upright. The block here for the twins is the Ace of Swords. It's reversed. The truth being buried, the divide, the need for more clarity, needing more information, feeling left in the dust, grieving loss, regret, and the past, the clinginess or near-death experience, or dealing with a post-death of someone close to you. Environment comes up, a green environment, but even more so the love partnership. The King of Wands upright and the Emperor in control. And you notice in the other read, the King of Pentacles and the Emperor came up together, but they were both upright as well. Here, the King of Wands is with the Emperor, which can be then that the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands are the same person, just reflecting different sides of their personalities depending on the day, or the place, or the time. King of Wands here comes up as a very affectionate person, whereas the King of Pentacles, wouldn't be as affectionate because he needs to create a professional atmosphere. But they're both coming up with the Emperor upright in control on the journey of good news and leading the way in the downturn of the King of Pentacles reversed here. So again, with the downturn of the King of Pentacles, if they're two separate people, that can be, or it's the letting go of the superficial part, right, about the money, that's important, and going more into the King of Wands, which is their affectionate side, tuning more into that energy. Leading the way in the downturn of the King of Pentacles reverse, which can be someone who's just ungrounded, or it can also be someone who's losing money and status, or it can be someone who's greedy, not a nice person. The journey of the Knight of Swords, sending 5D messages, seeing synchronicities and options, and the stairway to heaven, sharing with others, settling out in preparation for a brand new life of contentment. It's 1/7/29 on the clock. The Magician, the Chariot, and the present moment. Withholding time, money, and effort, perhaps withholding a loan from the Page of Wands upright, or maybe refused a loan, or until inspired, maybe just holding back until you're inspired to that energetic exchange and arrows of love. The Six of Cups, siblings, kids, leaving the E-Tower, or implementing a plan, returning home, or car is down, state of emergency or breakdown, break up, break in, or break through, but without guidance, or in a divorce, or break from religion, establishment, contract, and justice with the Empress reversed, or lack of abundance at 518, which is the Hierophant and the Moon, which is the false light, and challenged by sudden events, epiphanies, rest, break, meditation, in need of information. In a twist of fate, being the bearer of good news, leading the way, the Knight of Swords up the steps to share and be charitable, but no money or new life for the Page of Wands, masked boy, until inspired to express feelings, energetic exchange, and arrows of love. The Six of Cups, children, whether they're inner children, outer children, soulmates, twins, whoever they are, the Justice and the twin flames, or the Divine Feminine's heart open to the Empress reversed, who may be ill, hurt, difficult, or in lack. The challenge being the sudden event, the Tower, the epiphany in a twist of fate. The Chariot reversed, perhaps car issues or breaking down, of not ascending, not moving, not traveling, resting, meditating on break. Again, divorce coming up here, letting go of a religion, an establishment, societal norms, or a contract. Without guidance, in a split, a lie, or a need for information or clarity for the journey of truth. The Knight of Swords ascending to the 5D, sharing and preparing a new life with the Page of Wands in energetic exchange, or a flurry of activities, communication and or travel back and forth at 5:23, which is the way 23 would be written, 23:5. 5 is the Hierophant, 23 is the King of Wands. So we end up here, perhaps on a Taurus King of Wands energy. And again, last night I watched the Da Vinci Code, so that's coming up here. And the movie was 2 hours and 28 minutes long. 2 is the High Priestess, 28 is the twin path, the twin flames. So some of the codes I noticed in the movie I wrote down as I watched the Da Vinci Code, because I literally wanted to write down the codes that were coming up. So it was interesting in the lecture in the beginning of the movie. It's 1:10:28, which is the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, and then the twins there. In the beginning of the movie, he was lecturing, and he was talking about perspective and consciousness, right? How he was showing on the screen how, for example, showing a swastika, and everyone assuming it has to do with Nazi stuff, but the actual symbol has nothing to do with that at all. It has to do with something positive. So again, he was bringing up the polarities, and so therefore merging the polarities in everyone's mind, not so they will no longer ever assume that it's something negative when it could be something positive as well. That was how the movie started out. What I loved was when they explained near the end of the Last Supper how the person sitting next to Jesus is Mary Magdalene, and the form between Mary Magdalene and Jesus is the V of the Holy Grail, which is the womb of the feminine. And then if you moved Mary Magdalene on the other side of Jesus, she's literally cuddling with him, which is coming up as the King of Wands, that affectionate man. And again, of course, the lineage of Jesus, her name is Sophia, so that comes up, and of course we talk about Sophia all the time. And that the word means sangreal. The word sangreal came up, which referenced the royal bloodline. Sang, like a song, sang, and then real, R-E-A-L. And of course, the rose comes up in the movie as, that the Grail or Mary Magdalene's tomb would be found under the rose. And if you remember in the movie, right, the keystone that's found in that case, right, that has the code that will break if you if you try to break into it, it'll be gone forever. That's called a keystone. Okay, and we talk about the stone and the key all the time. The map to the Holy Grail is under a rose on the box that contains it. And the box is a case, but also is a sheath that came up as the twin layers of the ovarian follicle in the definitions today. So the sheath being the box that held the keystone. And so the sheath of the ovary, contains the egg. And the egg also came up in the definitions today. So the rose is where you'd find the Holy Grail. And then the fleur-de-lis is the symbol of the Priory of Zion. That was their symbol. The Knights Templar were in London, and the trail leads to London because on the inscription behind the rose coin that's on the case, where they find it actually pops open and there's an inscription on the back of the coin of the rose. The inscription said, and I wrote this down, "The Holy Grail 'neath ancient Roslyn waits, the blade and chalice," which the blade is the masculine pyramid, the chalice is the feminine pyramid, "guards the gates, adorned and mastered, his loving art," right, at the Louvre, "the rest at last beneath the starry skies." So the inverted pyramid, her tomb being below the inverted clear glass pyramid underneath the starry skies at the Louvre, and all the energy ended up at Roslyn Chapel that was built by the Templars, where Sophia meets her grandmother there. And the license plate on the car as they make their getaway from the plane was 6837, which is the Page of Pentacles, and the King of Cups, 37, which is that unconditional love. And it was CIL, 6837, and CIL is 3912, right? 36912, but skipping the 6. And then the license plate was 6837, so that was interesting too. And 3912 is also 39 of the Knight of Cups and the 12 of the Hangman. Also could be the Empress and the Hermit and the Hangman hanging out together. The 68 of the Page of Pentacles and the 37 of the King of Cups on the license plate of the getaway car. And then the A, Alexander Pope, you remember, was the clue to a Pope. It doesn't have to be the Pope. It's a Pope, which Alexander Pope came up, and one of the Knights Templar was Sir Isaac Newton, the knight in the tomb that presided over by Alexander Pope, which was the clue there regarding a Pope. The orb which fell from the heaven inspired Newton, which is how they were led to, not be in France, but England. So those were just some of the codes that came up that were significant in the movie. So some of those reminders might trigger you to something new. And remembering, too, that the five-pointed star in the movie was pointed out that its original meaning wasn't about devil worship. It was about the divine feminine and Venus. Okay, so when they went into Roslyn Chapel at the end, he lists all the different religions there: Jewish, Christian, Egyptian, Masonic, Pagan, and Templar. This was so profound for me because as I forgot this part, and this was at 2:02:02 in the movie. She sees herself as a little girl there. She's been there before. And literally, that was my experience in France when I went into the French Mary Magdalene Chapel. I have a hard time in the old buildings because I'm so empathic. I usually feel nauseous when I go into old sites. But the chapel we went into when I was in the south of France was like all of a sudden I was like so surprised because I went in there and I felt like a little girl again, and I was just running around and like it was my stomping grounds. And there was this sheepdog that greeted everyone, and he just put his paws on. He was a big dog, but he just so gently got up on his hind legs and put his gentle paws on my chest to greet me. It was a very profound moment for me going in that chapel. I was guided to a spot in the chapel where I was just looking up at the ceiling, and I looked over at this blank stone corner, which I've told you guys before. And I just looked at that corner. I said, that's my corner, as a little girl. So I went over there to stand there to feel into it more. And I took a picture of the stones at my feet to mark the spot where I was standing. And as I hit the button, because my camera was on the wrong mode, so it took 3 pictures by accident when I lowered the volume so they wouldn't hear my pictures being taken. I took 3 pictures by accident, and one of the pictures took a picture of the stone beneath the bench right in front of me. And that stone was a different color than all the other stones of the church. And it led under the foot of the pew to the wall. And I couldn't see the other side of the stone because it was between the foot of the stool or the bench and the wall. So I had to get down on my hands and knees to literally look at the stone on the other side of the leg. And I have a picture of that. It's engraved into the stone is literally a little girl on her knees. But also, when I was drawing on it through my illustrator later when I got home, it's not only the little girl on her knees, but it's literally Mary and Jesus sitting side by side. You can draw both of them at the same time. It was very cool. There was also message stuff in the wall right there where I was standing, and later found out by the people writing the book about this stuff that the spot where I was standing was where they advertised the energy line going down to the altar. He told us afterwards at lunch that the main vortex of the chapel is actually exactly where I was standing. So it was very cool because I was being taken back to being a little girl in that chapel. So when I saw this in the movie, it was like, oh my God, that's exactly how I was in the chapel in France. She sees herself as a little girl there. She's been there before. The blade and chalice, right? The pyramid and the inverted pyramid, and then the Merkaba. The art in the starry skies, the crescent moon, and the crescent moon was the symbol on the floor, on the carpet where they pulled up to go down in the basement, where the fleur-de-lis in the floor was. It opens the cellar to the Mary Magdalene sarcophagus, which used to be there but was moved. And that, at the end of the movie, it was supposed to be under the inverted pyramid at the Louvre. But in the movie, her name came up as Sophia St. Clair. And St. Clair is under Sangreal, right? The royal lineage, not the Saunier, which her grandfather was named in the movie. So again, the rose line beneath the rose leading to the inverted glass pyramid in the Louvre, which was labeled with the N sign, like the true north, because the rose line was north to south or south to north. I can't remember which way it was. And then right there was beneath the inverted pyramid was her tomb. So I'm going to pull it's 10:22 on the clock. A turn for the better and the fool. An open heart and a leap of faith. And it's 1:20 on this clock. 1:20 to 21. Wow. The magician, the 20 of judgment, and 21 of the world, completion. Final judgment and completion. And then the clock here is 10:22. Is exactly the same. This is a 1:20 to 21:22. And then this one was 10:22. Very cool. All right, so from the energy deck, what is our takeaway from the readings today? All tied up. All right, again, here's the King of Wands energy coming up upright. Playing coy. And then here's the page. They're both upright in the read. The King of Wands and the Page of Cups. Page of Cups coming up as the innocent energy, the light field. Showing how powerful the innocent child is, the Page of Cups, as opposed to, right, the man of passion in their ego, right? This would represent him in his ego, the man of passion, and here represents the light side of things, the Page of Cups, showing you the contrast and the attachment to one or the other, removing the mask. Because the King of Wands, this is his inner child. And all he has to do is remove the mask to reveal that in himself, if he can let go of the ego. Then we have the Temple Path, and there we have the Knights Templar, was just coming up. And the wisdom of the 12. The wisdom of the 12. And this picture always reminds me of Thomas Kinkade, because that's his garden of prayer where Jesus is on the path. You can see that in the painting, but you have to look very closely, otherwise you never see it. Then we have the 38 of the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, which is about going into your heart, and the Queen of Cups is all about that. But there's also the masculine energy going into their feminine energy. So it's like removing the mask of the polarities and merging them to the center, going on path by staying in your heart center. The underlying energy here is the 51 of the King of Swords, and he was all over the read, but he was reversed, right? And what was my message the other day was you can choose ego or your abilities. It's your choice. So the King of Swords was reversed in this read. So if he's going to be in his ego, you know, his talents will be blocked. If he wants his talents to expand, he lets go of his ego. And again, there's that energy of the King of Wands and the Page of Cups as Archangel Metatron. Beneath this is the storm warning that comes to clear all. The 10 is the turn for the better, like in Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. In order to bring him to clear his negative energy, to turn the King of Swords upright into his healing abilities and show him the power that he is, the love that he is. That's the underlying energy here. All right, let's see what Scooby has to say. It's nice and sunny out. Make sure you go out and get your face in the sun for a few minutes today at least, or take a walk if you have sun where you are. All right, Scooby, what do you have to say today? He's being a little choppy here. Take another deep breath. All right. The King of Swords. Look at that. Perfect. We have the Page of Swords up right here too. Everybody in their positive energy. Nice. All right. The King and Page of Swords. Him and his inner child. Me and my shadow strolling down the avenue. So this is the underlying energy, the Three of Swords reversed. Healing and forgiving self. Okay. Doing stretches perhaps to get all that negative energy out. Oh, they want me to give you that example. All right, so this is the 10 of Swords, letting go of the pain, healing and forgiving, and then coming into this really positive energy here of me and my shadow, you and your inner child, being happy. And they wanted me to give the example of and now I'm forgetting. Oh, stretching. On one from Sam the Illusionist, I forget which one it was, which council it was, Syrians, Arcturians, Pleiadians, whichever one it was. Might have even been the Andromedan High Council. But they talked about the atom, and that the space between the space between the electrons and the neutron is space where the negative energy can collect and weigh you down. So that's the space between that needs to be cleared out in order to lighten you up, right? If you can imagine that, that's where all the dark energies get stuck. Doing stretching exercises to really, especially stretch your chest out, because we always sit so much. Stretch your arms down and back as well as up and back to really release your muscles, all of those stagnant muscles that never move, because there's a lot of muscles that we never use, to really open up all of your physical space to allow those negative energies to leave you when you encircle yourself in that gold light or the Merkaba field. Then we have, really quickly, I'll do a Journey of Love card because I don't want this to go too much longer here. 126:16, the Magician, the Page of Wands, and the Tower, which is the challenge today, is the Tower, the sudden events, the epiphanies, the whirlwind of the storm that comes in to wipe out the negative energies for you, to allow it. The conflicts that rise in order to neutralize the energies. Don't necessarily see it as bad. It's like not being afraid of confrontation. The confrontation is the issue. It's the fear that's the issue. All right, for Journey of Love, what is our takeaway from these reads today? Today is the 9th of January, 2021. The Yin Yang Lover, 8, the dance. And this, it looks like hair, right? And I talked about hair today being a connection for you. And the follicles within your body as well. Just like you would think of your hairs within your body, you wouldn't take them all off your body. Right on the inside, the little hairs at the end of your lungs that connect everything to the rest of your body. Think of it that way. Saying your hairs are on you for a reason, right? So love all the things about you. And nothing's good or bad. It's just saying you were born that way. So think about why you were born that way. So the Lovers comes out after the Yin Yang Lovers. So it's all about the connection between the masculine and the feminine coming together. And look, and this is like in the portrait of the Last Supper, where Jesus's picture is moved to the other side of Jesus and they're hugging each other. It's literally like this energy right here, the Lovers. I love that. And I'm getting John and Yoko too. And Paul and Linda. It's really beautiful energy there. I'm just going to show you the next two cards real quick. Across the Waters, 23 is the King of Wands, and the 55 of the Truth in acceptance in the Enchanted Forest in a proposal here. So there's really beautiful energy coming up here. And the next one is the Swan. It's really lovely here. The underlying energy is distant shores. The 18 of the Moon, the false light. And it's quadrupling here. There's expansion of, this is all green and purple, which is what I see when I go into meditation. It's all about the upper chakras and your connection to the outer worlds. You see the rough waters that the moon is causing, because that's that false light changing, right? We're clearing out all the dark. And so you're going to see some rough waters coming up, but stay in this high vibrational energy, right? Stay in your upper chakras in your meditative state. And we're going to read these two cards for you, the Yin Yang Lovers and the Lovers, because that's a short one too. So the Yin Yang Lover says, the force of attraction is stronger than your conscious mind or conscious control. There's no need to fight this inner genius. You can learn to speak its language instead. What is it that captures you, that pulls you close, that holds so much light for you? Why fight it? Don't step away from what you really love to grab hold of a second prize. Why not claim your first prize? It is there waiting for you. It is yours alone, beloved. No one else can claim your own divine birthright for you. Be yielding and let your desire fill your body and heart and your mind. You don't have to fight for what is already yours. It will come to you through the field of attraction that emanates from your own heart. It is not a question of worthiness or deservedness. It is not a question of trying to work out what you need or want. Your heart always knows. Listen. If you still can't hear, then just feel. You'll get the gist of it soon enough. This oracle has a message for you no matter whether you seem to be heading closer to your goal or further away. You are making real spiritual progress, and what you want is the same thing that is wanting you. What you are seeking is seeking you. It's only a matter of time before you get it. This is the poem. The moment when to fill my heart again is measured not in time or sweet remorse, nor tears that wash away unbridled pain, or morning's light which sings its soft retort. Such love has slept through storm and winters long. No call could break the stillness's embrace, or hasten change before the season's song unfurls its melody and words so chaste. Empowered thus I found myself compelled to cast aside emotions dormant still. My feelings spoke from depths, the answer welled. No need or past the emptiness to fill. At one our touch has opened hearts anew. Of patience born there waits a love so true. And the Lovers is 57, which is the Three of Swords, which was coming up reversed. It's actually upright in the read, this last read here from yesterday, but it's coming up reversed in the more current card. So it's about the healing and forgiving of the 57, the separation. Yes, it's love. It drives you forward and pulls you back to your heart. It makes the mind mad with misunderstanding and breaks it open to enlightened compassion. It is love. Your yearning heart shall have it. Your destiny is to be the lover of the beloved. This oracle brings you a message of love, love, and more love. It is finding you now. Be open to it in all its forms. Be the god and the goddess of love, and paint the town red. Play in passionate embrace with life as your lover, and prepare to receive even more than what you believe you are capable of handling. And that's interesting. I'm getting the handlers that came up in the read here. Love is a magic word that holds the universe together. It is both an emotion and something ephemeral that lives like a fire's glow, or the pink light on the clouds, which came up during the read, after the sun has set. The pink light on the clouds. And yet it is alive, or it is alive and yet indefinable. It causes the heart to beat more rapidly, feelings to show, and young people to write, sing, and dance and become totally immersed in its hold. Love can beckon coyly or flaunt itself with wanton abandon. Love can live and grow seemingly forever, or vanish in a fleeting moment when we least suspect. And in the twilight of our years, reflecting on the life we have lived, it is love which colors every turn and twist of our memory. And when we pass from this earthly plane, it will be love that will light our soul on its journey home again. Okay. So guys, I hope that was helpful for you. It was for me. At 1:33:19, the Magician, the Christ light, and the sun. Go out and make sure you put your face in the sun today. Drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature. Rise and be loved, guys. Bye.